The public hearing will be on March 2nd at 6 p.m. while you're working or commuting or feeding your children.
Thursday, March 2nd at 6 o'clock. We're going to cancel your normal March 1st meeting. So you'll just have a special meeting on the 2nd. There won't be any other business on that agenda, just that application. We've had requests to set it up as a hybrid meeting. So we'll have either Brian or myself will be in the council chambers that night, kind of acting as the gatekeeper, I guess, for folks that want to speak at the podium.
What about commission members?
If you want to attend there, you can attend there. Otherwise, you can stay home. You're not required to go.
Their idea of a hybrid meeting is for just Steve Kleppen or Brian Baker to be in person at City Hall, acting as gatekeepers to people who wish to speak.
This is an important project where about which people feel very passionate. And it can be incredibly messy, and technology can interfere with us understanding them or they understanding us. I'd much prefer if we kept it to a Zoom meeting. I don't see a particular value, although people may disagree, to doing it, unless we all agree to do it in person. I don't see a particular value to it being a hybrid meeting when it's going to be difficult on a difficult topic. I think we're just asking for trouble.
Asking for trouble, Mr. Shulman? Asking for trouble is holding a public hearing while you hide behind a camera and a computer.
And I'd like to actually see that room too, like have a camera set up, not just the individual speakers, but see the whole room. Just because people showed up, they want to be seen.
No, Mr. Mushak, people don't show up to be seen. They show up to see you, to talk to you, for you to see and hear them in person, as you were appointed to do. The City Council holds hybrid meetings every month. Workshops, presentations, and feel-good civic events are attended by public officials every week. Why won't Harry Rilling lift his selective ban on public meetings?
There were a couple different residents that put that in an email that they wanted to have the hybrid meeting. Brian and I looked at this with Jeff Spar, who's kind of like the city's Freedom of Information Act expert. Technically, since it's a special meeting, I don't think you have to do it, but I would say while it is a special meeting, it's kind of like, it's not like an emergency special meeting where you only have 24 hours notice. So I'd recommend treating it just like a regular meeting, at which case I don't think it's at the commission's discretion whether they can do the hybrid meeting. I think if the way the advisory language from the state has come out, if requested to do the hybrid meeting, you have to allow the hybrid meeting.
Only a couple of residents asked for in-person hybrid? Remind Mr. Kleppen that we are waiting for him to comply with the Freedom of Information request to turn over all emails from the public.
Just in terms of hearings, like when we have a public hearing on a particular property, I have no problem showing up in person, because I think it's important that if the public is going to take the time and effort to respond, support, or oppose a project, I think the least we could do is be there to hear them.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan Byron, Mr. Rowena, and Ms. Langalis. We agree it is the least you can do to be there in person to hear the public.
Well, it's irrelevant. Apparently the regulation requires us to do it.
Lou thinks that is irrelevant.
And I just want to make everyone aware that COVID is still spreading. It's still an issue. It didn't go away. The pandemic's not over. I know someone who is in their 80s, a neighbor who is very ill right now, who just got it, doesn't know where they got it from. So just be aware of that this is not just the end of it. I mean, if you want to show up in a big room with a bunch of strangers, I think that's great, but the ventilation in that room is not going to handle, it's not designed to standards that replace the air every 10 minutes, like, is required to make it safe, from CDC, whatever.
Really? They didn't upgrade their ventilation?
Well, no, I mean, the CDC has definite, well, anyway, let's not get into it. I'm just going to say that it's not exactly the safest environment to show up in a room full of strangers who are coughing and sneezing, and you're sitting there. I'm just telling you that. And I worry about my own health for reasons I won't get into, but I am not going to show up in a meeting. I was just on a cruise, and I actually wore my mask the whole time, and I avoided all the crowded areas. I ate outside on the deck, and I didn't get sick. But I mean, you know, people were wearing their masks, and they had, you know, it was still an issue.
Mr. Mushak is afraid of COVID, but goes to the packed concert hall for every symphony and was just on multiple planes and a ship during a 14-day cruise.
Yeah, I just would say if somebody starts coughing their head off in that room, God bless you all for being there. I mean, you know, because they're probably not going to have a mask on, and nobody else is going to have a mask on, and then you've got an event.
Why is the mayor's administration hiding behind excuses? Why are they afraid to be face to face with the public?